predictions for the 2025
Japanese Grand Prix.
So let's start with the last week's news. What say, Krish? What's your view? Shall we go ahead before going into the predictions?
Yeah, I think we should talk about what's happening with Williams, because Williams are not performing good. What do you think about that?
See, if you ask me, Williams में दो problem है currently right now. Albon is doing really well. No one expected Albon will be out qualifying Sainz and scoring more points than the Sainz in the first two races. There are some issues going on with the Sainz. Everyone expected that Sainz will be dominating Albon, but clearly that's not happening. I think Sainz needs to up his game right now.
Yeah, I agree. क्योंकि साइंस की परफॉर्मेंस डाउनग्रेड हुई है आफ्टर द शिफ्ट फ्रॉम फरारी, बट आई थिंक साइंस विल improve in the next few races.
Okay.
What do you think about it?
If you see, Williams are trying to give as much support as possible to Sainz right now. अगर आपने ऑस्ट्रेलिया ग्रांड प्री भी देखा रहेगा, उसका जो अंडर सेफ्टी कार क्रैश हुआ था, so Williams were straight away in the support of Sainz that there was a sudden torque surge. And I think Sainz is not used to the Mercedes engine right now. He has driven, I think, Renault and Ferrari engine, but he has not driven Mercedes engine. I think that's the key issue right now he is facing. But looking at his previous season and the quality of the driver, I'm pretty sure that he will overcome from this.
Like judging from the free practices and all before the pre-season testing, I thought कि Sainz will perform good, but he's not currently performing well. What do you think?
If you see the testing, pre-season testing, Sainz was clearly dominating Albon, but race is the where actual points are handed out, right?
I agree.
So I think Albon has definitely proven up his game as compared to Sainz, but I am confident that Sainz will come up. Okay, let's go to the next rumor. There is rumor circulating right now which says that there are chances of swap between Tsunoda and Lawson before Japanese Grand Prix happening. What's your take on that, Krish?
Yeah, I think there are high possibility कि वो हो सकता है swap. I think Lawson का performance बहुत ही खराब रहा है. He is like the second Checo Perez. But I think Tsunoda will get the seat eventually, and Lawson will get the RB.
See, the main problem is the second Red Bull seat for me. Okay, the car is completely designed for Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen wants front end very much, which destabilize the rear end. And most of the drivers don't like that. Most of the drivers like the stable rear end. If you see the history of the Red Bull second driver post Daniel Ricciardo era, there have been three drivers: Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Checo Perez. Everyone has struggled with the second car right now, and I think same is happening with the Lawson. I'm hopeful that if they swap the seat between Racing Bull and Red Bull, Tsunoda might do well compared to Lawson, but I cannot see is getting closer to Verstappen like 2 tenths or 3 tenths. That I clearly cannot see.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the Red Bull curse is getting worse and worse. I feel like the second Red Bull seat is totally cursed. मुझे लगता है कि at least Lawson should finish P10 or P8.
Yeah. Completely agree. If you see the Checo Perez, he was at least finishing in the points. अगर आप उनके रिजल्ट्स देखोगे कि P6, P7, P9 तो आ ही रहा था. ऐसा नहीं था कि he was not finishing in the points. But Lawson is clearly not up to the mark. At least he should have finished in the points, which is not clearly the case between in the first two races. I agree that Australia was a difficult race for him, especially driving the Red Bull car, and he was on the track for the first time, so that was a bit difficult for him. But China, he was previously there on the track, so he should have performed better in Chinese Grand Prix. but that was not the clearly that was clearly not the case. And I would like to talk about the Red Bull strategy here as well. If you see the scenario from the last 6 or 7 years, they have clearly put all their money in the Max Verstappen basket. Okay, let's assume that if Max Verstappen leaves the Red Bull, do you see Red Bull will still be the front running team?
No, I don't think it will be the front running team. I think it would drop to the mid tier teams between Williams and Haas. I feel like Red Bull's car are not good, but Max is dragging the team towards the points. I don't think that Red Bull will finish in points if it wasn't for Max Verstappen.
Yeah. Max is clearly outperforming the car right now. He's like a truly great driver, one of the great, if not the greatest. So definitely that's the case. Coming to the next news, the observation which I have taken from the last two Grand Prix, I feel that Mercedes is second best team right now after McLaren.
Yeah, I think it's right. Yeah, I think Mercedes is the second best team. I think George Russell is very sneaky.
Why sneaky?
Because when he gets the opportunity, उसको जैसे ही opportunity मिलता है वो pounce करता है opportunity पे. जैसे अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया में उसने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया एंड चाइना में भी उसने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया. ही इज लाइक अ स्नेक. वो जहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगा वहाँ पे वो पाउंस करता है.
But I think there are still we need to see because if you ask me, last two races the temperature of the track was quite low, and historically Mercedes has been performing very well where the track temperature is low. So I think we need to wait for some hottest race of the season to clearly see the car performance where they are compared to other teams. McLaren is clearly best at the moment. But if you ask me, currently Mercedes is the second best, but they need to solidify their place in the standings. They can only do that when they perform on the hottest race of the season.
And what do you think about Kimi Antonelli getting the driver of the day?
No. That was like I don't think nothing against him. But he was not clearly deserving the driver of the day. For me, for Chinese Grand Prix, driver of the day was definitely Ollie Bearman. The way he drove the car to the points and his first stint was really impressive, really impressive. And in his second stint, the kind of passes he has shown, that was clearly amazing. So I think for me, clearly Ollie Bearman was the driver of the day.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
What about you?
I think I agree with your point. Ollie Bearman's performance was exceptionally good, especially with Haas. He's I can say, being a second driver, he's performing really good and finishing into the points.
Why are you telling him a second driver? Can you explain?
Because I think Ocon is an experienced driver.
I'm putting Chris into the tough spot now.
I think Ocon has been into the game for a while, but Ollie Bearman being a rookie, he's assumed that he's a second driver, but still performing that good in a Grand Prix was surprising.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, let's move to the predictions now for the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's start with the bad flop. Before starting, let me explain the format of our predictions video. There we're gonna predict on the 5 parameters: one good surprise, one bad flop, qualifying pole, top 3 for the race, and the fastest lap. Okay, let's start with the good surprise. What's your take on good surprise for Japanese Grand Prix?
For me, a good surprise would be Alex Albon.
Ooh. Okay, why? Any reason?
I think Alex Albon is performing good, and he has the skills to come in top 5. I think he can carry Williams especially when Sainz is not performing right now. I think Albon is good, but not that good that he can finish in podium.
Okay, I'm going with Pierre Gasly for a good surprise. I think Alpine is due some points right now. They have a good car, but unfortunately in the last two races they were unable to convert that performance into the points. So I strongly feel that Japanese Grand Prix, and given the history of Japanese track where rain comes and weather storms are there, I think Gasly will do well. I'm going with Pierre Gasly.
But do you think Alpine can perform in that conditions?
Yeah. How can you forget 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix? They scored double podium. How can you forget that?
Yeah, but that was because half of the grid DNF.
So that can happen with the Japanese Grand Prix as well, right? There are full chances. I'm going with the Pierre Gasly.
Totally, there are
That's for
chances.
sure.
There are chances, but I think Alpine performing, especially Pierre Gasly, I'm not agreeing with that opinion of yours.
Ooh.
But let's see what happens.
Let's see. We'll talk after the race. We'll
For
see.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. Coming to the next point, who is the bad flop? For me, bad flop will be. I'm gonna go with Gabriel Bortoleto.
That's the safest option.
No, not the safest option. He has performed well in the first two races, but I think he'll struggle in the rain. So I'm gonna go with the Gabriel Bortoleto. They have good car. In rain, they have done well to score some points with Hülkenberg in Australian Grand Prix, but I'm gonna go with Gabriel Bortoleto for biggest flop.
For me, the biggest flop would be Isaac Hadjar.
Ooh, why? He's doing really well in the first two races. Why are you cursing him?
I'm not cursing him, but I think the rain is a curse for Hadjar, because in Australia, he didn't even start the race. So I think the biggest flop for me would be Isaac Hadjar. Let's see, but in the Japanese Grand Prix, for me it is Hadjar, because Hadjar, I don't think he can perform in that wet conditions. If
You are judging him you are judging him in third race and only one performance in wettest condition. This is not fair, man.
Yeah, but that's my opinion.
No,
We still have a race ahead. Let's see what happens.
Okay, let's go. Let's go with the qualifying top 3 and qualifying 4. Your top 3 for qualifying.
Okay, so my top 3 would be Lando Norris at P1, P2 would be Oscar Piastri, and P3 would be George Russell.
You are going very safe with the predictions, Chris. I think you want to beat me in your predictions game. I'm gonna go bold with the predictions. I'm going P3 George Russell, P2 Lewis Hamilton, and P1 Lando Norris.
Yeah, but considering Ferrari's performance, do you think that they can qualify P2?
They have good pace in qualifying. If you see the sprint race, China as well, Lewis Hamilton has a pace to win that race. Okay, and even in the qualifying as well, they had some good pace. So I think they will perform well in the qualifying, but I'm not sure about the race pace as of now. But I'm gonna go with Lewis Hamilton P2, P3. I'm gonna go with George Russell, and P1 Lando Norris, definitely.
Okay.
Okay. Coming to the race predictions, who are your top 3 for the race?
Okay, so my top
Let's
3.
rather than let's say like this. Who are your podium finishers for the race?
Okay, so my podium finishers, मुझे लगता है कि P3 would be Lewis Hamilton,
Okay.
P2 would be Oscar Piastri, And P1, of course, Lando Norris. P3, Lewis Hamilton, because considering the sprint race, he has performed exceptionally good in that Ferrari. And in the second race, इतना अच्छा perform करना चाइना में आपने देखा sprint race में that it was a second race with Ferrari. Still he won that race, that sprint race. So I think that Lewis Hamilton has the potential to perform good and come P3. And P2, Oscar Piastri, because we know he's good. That Australia was a disappointment, but in China he redeemed himself. I think still it would be P1 Lando, because he's a good driver with that good car. He's calm and composed this time compared to last year. I think he's gonna win this race.
Okay, I'm gonna go all out with Ferrari. I'm going double podium with the Ferrari right now. P3 will be unfortunately Charles Leclerc. P2 will be Lando Norris, and I think Lewis Hamilton will win the Japanese Grand Prix. Because Lewis have very good record at the Japanese Grand Prix. He's always been at top form in the Suzuka International Circuit. So I think he's gonna win this race. I am inclined to choose P3 for Max Verstappen only because of weather. Because he is one of the best when it rains. Okay, he finds new lines and explore entire track limits. But I'm gonna go with P3 Charles Leclerc, P2 Norris, and P1 Hamilton.
Okay, so we found our Ferrari fanboy.
Yo!
But I think my prediction's gonna win this time.
Let's see. Alright,
Let's see.
that's it for the first video and the predictions of the Japanese Grand Prix. See you later for the race review of the Japanese Grand Prix, guys. So bye bye. Like, comment, share, and subscribe our channel.
It's lights out and away we go.
Woo!